I'm Heather Valgosper, Performance Marketing Insider, and joining me today is Todd Crawford, co-founder of Impact Radius and a veteran in the performance marketing industry. Todd, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to talk to you. And you know, when I say veteran in the marketing industry, I mean people that have been doing it for 5 years or 10 years can now be considered a veteran, but you've been kicking around for a while. Can you tell us how you got started in this industry and when?
Yeah, it was back in 1998. I was part of the founding team at Commission Junction, which is, I think, now referred to as CJ by Conversant. So one of the largest affiliate networks. We built up that company and sold it to ValueClick in 2004. And then in 2006, I went to work for Digital River and helped build out their affiliate network for their commerce platform called One Network Direct. And then in 2008, kind of got the band back together with a lot of some of the executives and co-founders from Commission Junction to start Impact Radius.
Okay, so most people, when they tell their genesis story, their creation story in the industry, it starts with something like affiliate marketing in the basement or creating a little ebook and selling it on ClickBank. You jumped right into working with a major company and helping them establish themselves. How did you go from like 0 to 60 basically?
Well, I mean, I always say it was third mover advantage. You know, at the time there was a company called BeFree and LinkShare, and they were the clear leaders in the affiliate space. They had raised a lot of money and had a lot of large brands working for them, and we were kind of seen as the startup. And we just, tried to innovate and build a better mousetrap. And I think what really led to our success was, in the early days, the technology or the network was sold to the advertiser, and of course that's what we did. But we really put a lot of emphasis and attention on the publisher base, and so they started to like us more. And I think that really helped us to kind of come from behind and end up winning.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, no one would argue that CJ is one of the big players in the industry. Definitely that they have won. They've proven longevity. And, you've watched the whole evolution, basically, of the affiliate marketing, the performance marketing industry. How has it changed over those 15 or so years?
Well, and, in the beginning, affiliate marketing was kind of a gaseous cloud. Not many people understood it. I had plenty of conversations with executives at companies where I would explain just what affiliate marketing is in the late 90s, and I would explain it and they wouldn't get it. It was so simple, and sometimes 2 or 3 times, and then the light would go off in their head and they're like, that's genius. I can't believe I didn't think of it myself. And of course the networks were the nexus of the industry. You had to go to a network because that was really your only choice, and that's where all the affiliates were. But as the industry's evolved, what I've seen is a shift in the importance of the role. So as the network is kind of the incubator or the center of the universe, it's now shifted to the brands, both the advertiser and the publisher, and it's really more about those relationships and those companies doing business together than it necessarily is around this concept of the network kind of enabling all of this.
Yeah, okay. So I find it interesting when you say that people didn't get it, because to me, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but you would think that people know about commission sales, people know about referral fees for referring business. I mean, these concepts have been around forever. So what was the missing piece that they weren't getting?
I think, in the early days of the internet, it kind of copied offline. So you're buying based on eyeballs and that, or traffic. So it was really just a CPM buys. And I don't think people understood that you could actually track to a conversion and pay only if and when that occurred. So that was kind of like, well, yeah, I'd rather do that. And what it did is it obviously shifted the risk from the advertiser more towards the publisher, whereas obviously a CPM buy is the opposite. The risk is really shifted away from the publisher and towards the advertiser. So I think there's obviously room for both types of buys, and probably CPC somewhere in the middle. But yeah, it was just kind of I guess just a change in thinking for most people. They didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of people watching this today know a lot about online marketing, not necessarily so much about offline marketing, depending how old they are and what their experiences are. So, in your opinion, beyond what you just said, what are the key differences between online and offline marketing?
Well, I think it's, years ago it was very different. It's certainly converged. When you talk about omni-channel now, you have advertisers doing direct marketing, direct response deals on television and in radio. So, that it's more synonymous with what we're used to in the affiliate marketing space online. There's still a ton of branding. Most dollars go to branding. So, Coca-Cola is not trying to get you to go to Coke.com and buy a Coke. They're just trying to keep their brand aware. And if they have new products or interesting events that they're sponsoring, they just want to get their brand out there. So there's still a lot of that going on. But I think the biggest difference is just that there are more and more advertisers trying to focus on the performance of their advertising and really trying to gauge how is offline and online working together. It's been proven, and it's not hard to see when you advertise a lot on TV, your sales online go up, and so do your costs in like AdWords, because people use Google kind of as a gateway. They type in your brand name and then they click on your paid search ad. So those things all impact, and I think people are embracing that more as opposed to siloing it off.
Okay. So I remember growing up, one of the things that I really didn't understand about TV advertising, for example, is there would be these really cool commercials, and you'd go away singing the jingle. It's like you'd remember the commercial. Oh, did you see the commercial where this girl said to the guy, blah, 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 blah? And no one would remember what the product was. And I kept getting told, well, it's supposed to work subconsciously, so at the point of purchase, subconsciously you remember that that was the product and you make the choice to buy that product instead of this other product. Now, of course, that goes to branding. To me, it's not very effective branding if I can like a commercial and not remember what the product was. But nonetheless, they said it was branding. And you mentioned that branding is now important as well in online advertising. Of course, that kind of transaction that I just described, we can't measure it in online advertising. Do you think that that kind of subconscious brand awareness is valid with online advertising?
I think you sometimes see that in social media where people are measuring what people are talking about the brand or interacting with the brand. So that's somewhat around branding, and a funny commercial or a jingle or a video that goes viral.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening today. Back in the 50s and on, it was all about jingles, like you said, Armor Hot Dogs and things like that. Every kid could sing that song, and I guess they were happy to eat Armor hot dogs. But the effectiveness, it is not an exact science to measure branding for sure.